What's up everyone, it's Austin here from Make Pop Music and Austin Hall Audio, and today we are back with another video. And for the video today, I wanted to show you how to tune and edit vocals like a professional. This is something that I see a lot of people skipping or kind of just half-assing as they're working through their process. So today what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you how to actually go in and edit vocals by hand, how to tune them, how to time align them, and then we're gonna walk through like feeding that into auto-tune to really get that last little 5% touch. And then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna walk you through how to edit those time discrepancies and match things like background vocals and duplicate vocals so you can get natural but still super tight and cohesive sounding professional vocals. So we're gonna be looking at a raw vocal, walking through all those steps. If you like this video, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe at the end of the video. If you have any questions during the video, let us know in the comments down below. And then after the video, if you want to support the channel, you can head over to our website, Make Pop Music, where you can check out our brand new podcast where we have episode 1, our courses, our presets, our sample packs. We have a bunch of free content over there. So if you enjoyed this video, after that, go check that out. But let's dive into Cubase so I can actually show you how to edit and tune these vocals like a professional. Let's take a look at this raw vocal, see what it sounds like, and then we're gonna start with tuning. I'm gonna show you some time alignment stuff, and then we will work on aligning secondary vocals. So here's what the vocal sounds like and looks like. I've already got it pulled up in Very Audio, but no adjustments have been made. So this is a scratch vocal, so understand it's gonna be a little pitchy, it's gonna be a little rough. That's the point of this video. Let's take a listen.
Every step I try to take feels like it's pulling me backwards. Stuck in my head, nothing to say, feels like I'm losing grip. Every thought feels like a plague, all of my memories shattered. I don't think anything matters.
So let's say you get a vocal like that and you have to figure out how to work with it. So the first thing that I like to do is manually tune a vocal, and that could be in Very Audio, that could be in Auto-Tune Pro, that could be in Melodyne, Flex Pitch. It doesn't matter, all of the principles are kind of the same, it's just gonna be a slightly different workflow. So we are gonna be using Very Audio since it's built right into Cubase, and it's typically what I use to kind of manually tune vocals. So let's go ahead and let's start. The first thing that I like to do is I'll set the pitch of the song. So this is in G minor. And then what I'll do is I'll kind of highlight everything. I'll correct that pitch to 100%. That's gonna at least get everything to the right note. And then you can quantize your pitch so it will swap everything to the key. So if you're in Auto-Tune or if you're in Melodyne, I know both of those should have key inputs, so you should be good to go there. And then what I like to do is just take a listen and see if it's corrected anything to the wrong place. What we're trying to do is work macro and then work it down to micro adjustments. So we want to get everything in the right place, then we'll worry about transitions and, you know, any kind of like harsh tuning or any kind of flat areas. So let's get everything to the right note right now, and let's see what we can do.
Every step I try to take feels like it's pulling me backwards. Every step I try to take feels like it's pulling me backwards. Stuck in my head, nothing to say, feels like I'm losing grip. Every thought feels like a plague, all of my memories shattered. Every thought feels like a plague, all of my memories shattered. I don't think anything matters.
All right, so we're roughly to the right points now. So then what I like to do is I will way overcorrect just to make sure that we can get all of the notes divided into where they need to be, because some of these are shifting to the wrong note. That's just the way that tuning algorithms work. So what I'm gonna do is over adjust, and then I'll work on my transitions in and out.
Every step I try to take feels like it's pulling me backwards. Stuck in my head, nothing to say, feels like I'm losing.
So like right here, you can see that that's dipping even as we've harshly tuned it. So I'm gonna go ahead and split that. In Cubase, all you have to do is kind of highlight over, and anything that's got this little bar throughout the middle, you can split there. So we're just gonna split this right here. And then what I'll do is I'll recorrect. And let's see if we want that to be on this C or on this B flat.
Stuck in my head, nothing to say, feels like I'm stuck in my head, nothing to say, feels like I'm losing grip.
That feels okay. Let's actually shift this right here from this A sharp / B flat. Let's shift that up to a C, so we're gonna split that.
Stuck in my head, nothing to say, feels like I'm losing grip.
That feels cool, and then maybe we'll split this right here and drag this down. So we'll see how this sounds.
Stuck in my head, nothing to say, feels like I'm losing grip.
Nope, I like it up here. Let's try this one.
Stuck in my head, nothing to say, feels like I'm losing grip. Every thought.
I think we're gonna leave it. What we are gonna do though is shift this up right here. So we'll have every.
Stuck in my head, nothing to say, feels like I'm losing grip. Every thought feels like a plague, all of my memories shattered. Every thought.
You can see right here that this is almost like shifting that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna split that, because at least in Very Audio, if you split it, it won't dip as much Let's try to take it down to that A sharp and C.
Every thought feels like.
No, it's kind of wavy. I don't like that.
Every thought feels like a plague. All of my.
Let's take this down a little bit.
Every thought feels like a plague.
Maybe.
Every thought feels like a plague. All of my memories shattered. I don't think anything matters.
So you can see right here, this note on anything is trying to pitch up. So what I'm going to do is manually cut this so we can shift that up, because this needs to be a D. This needs to be a C.
Every thought feels like a plague. All of my memories shattered. I don't think anything matters.
And you can see right here that we're still a little sharp as that comes in. To fix that, all you need to do is go to your smart controls over here, and we're gonna hit show all smart controls, and you'll see this little knob right here in the corner, and that is where you can adjust how you want that note to start and how you want that note to slope down. So we can do something like that, and there we go. Now we've tightened up that note.
I don't think anything matters.
And then same thing right here. This is just a little bit sharp and flat. Let's adjust that midpoint. There we go.
I don't think anything matters.
And now once we've gotten everything very much so in the right point, what I'll do is I'll go in and I will bring the straighten back to like maybe 5%. And then this is where I'll go in and I'll fine tune everything just a little bit more.
Every step I try to take feels like it's pulling me backwards. Stuck in my head, nothing to say, feels like I'm losing grip. Every thought.
So like grip over here still sounds a little weird because it is, there we go, showing that we were having like grip.
Every step I try to take feels.
Try right here is still a little sharp, so we're going to split that, see if that fixes that. And then let's see if we need to.
Every step I try to take feels like it's.
There we go. Correct that again. So now let's see.
Every step I try to take feels like it's pulling me backwards. Stuck in my head, nothing to say, feels like I'm losing grip. Every thought feels like a plague. All of my memories shattered. I don't think anything matters.
Right here, this is a little wonky, so let's shift that up. I don't even know if I need all of these smart controls, so we can get rid of those. Let's see.
Every step I try to take feels like I don't think anything matters. Think anything matters. Every step I don't think anything matters.
Let's see. We'll loosen these up a little bit more. These don't need to be that tight at all.
I don't think anything matters.
Let's pull these default controls back up. See if that can get rid of some of that.
I don't think anything matters. Shattered. I don't think anything matters.
See if we can transition that a little bit down.
Shattered. I don't think anything matters.
There we go. And then I'm just going to tighten this up. So now what I'll do is I like to go in and all of these like kind of normal notes that are going to be kind of the basis of that melody, I'm going to go in and I'm going to straighten those out just a little bit. And let's see if we're getting any weird like kind of hard artifacting.
Every step I try to take feels like it's pulling me backwards. Stuck in my head, nothing to say, feels like I'm losing grip. Every thought feels like a plague. All of my memories shattered. I don't think anything matters.
That feels pretty good to me. So I'm going to say that that's good with tuning. Once you've manually tuned it, as you can see, we had to split some notes. We had to adjust some kind of slope ins and slope outs. In Cubase, you can also go ahead and you can adjust things like volume. You can go ahead and you can adjust things like formant. We're not really going to be doing that for this, but it is all there in Very Audio if that's what you need to do. So I feel pretty good about that as a raw tuning. Let's hear that now in the mix.
Every step I try to take feels like it's pulling me backwards. Stuck in my head, nothing to say, feels like I'm losing grip. Every thought feels like a plague. All of my memories shattered. I don't think anything matters.
So that feels much better to me. Now what we're gonna do is we are gonna put auto tune on. You can have it first in your chain, you can have it after your processing. As long as you have it before any kind of like crazy saturation or any kind of like modulation effects, you should be okay to go. So typically what I'll do for auto tune is I like using Pro because I will use throat adjustments pretty often. but I'm gonna set it to the key, so we're in G minor, and then this retune speed is basically how aggressive that tuning is gonna be. So as you can see here in Very Audio, you know, if we kind of have that straight and curve, that's basically what your retune speed is in auto tune. So let's pull that up and I'll adjust it so you can hear it in real time. 0 is going to give you like that T-pain.
Every step I try to take feels like it's pulling me backwards. Stuck in my head, nothing to say, feels like I'm losing grip. Every thought feels like a plague, all of my memories shattered. I don't think.
And then you can always have humanize for if you've got like these really long held out notes and you don't want that to kind of tune it flat throughout the whole thing. What it'll do is it'll kind of engage that retune speed and then start to loosen up on that so it doesn't hold out. This song doesn't really have any crazy held out notes, so I mean, we don't really need that humanize at all. And then you do have your flex tune, which I don't use a ton, honestly. I just find that if I've gone in enough manually tuned vocals, we should be okay. Typically for a pop song like this, I'm gonna have the retune personally between like 25 and 30. I feel like that kind of gives me exactly what I need.
Every step I try to take feels like it's pulling me backwards. Stuck in my head, nothing to say, feels like I'm losing grip. Every thought feels like a plague, all of my memories shattered. I don't think anything matters.
And I just find that using auto-tune on some kind of auto mode with a key really just helps tighten up that vocal, and it kind of gives it like that professional edge where even if I go through and I hand tune all of these as good as possible, whether that's in this or auto-tune pro graph mode or Melodyne, there's still like this sense of tightness that you're never gonna get until you slap on something like auto-tune just in the auto mode. So now these vocals are pretty well tuned. I am gonna go ahead and show you how to timeline things and scooch. I don't think there's many areas in here that we need to actually adjust for time, but in Cubase it's so easy, so you can always go in and you can warp things from here, so you can cut and you can kind of set warp markers. When I'm doing vocals, I like to just do it within Very Audio, because what you can do is you can drag words and you can drag notes. So let me undo that.
Every step I try to take feels like it's pulling me backwards.
But like, let's say we wanted to extend back like that.
Every step I try to take feels like it's pulling me backwards. Stuck.
And let's say we wanted words to be a little bit later. So we can drag all of this.
Every step I try to take feels like it's pulling me backwards. Stuck in my head, nothing to say.
Words feels a little dragging. Let's see if we can pull that a little bit. And you can see right here, it's got all of your warp markers that you're adjusting.
Take feels like it's pulling me backwards. Stuck in my head, nothing to say, feels like I'm losing grip.
So like this losing, maybe let's drag it back a little bit. Let's like adjust that.
Take feels like it's pulling me backwards. Stuck in my head, nothing to say, feels like I'm losing grip.
Pull it forward just a little bit more. Let's try the second half.
Every thought feels like
maybe thought could be a little bit earlier, like just a hair. You can see it dragging a little bit on the timeline. Let's try it and see. Sometimes vocals don't have to be perfectly aligned. Like you can see this comes in literally right on that.
Every thought feels like a plague, all of my memories shattered.
Let's tighten up plague a little bit. So that right there is going to be that plosive. And sometimes with plosives, what you might want to do is take that straighten all the way down. Sibilants and plosives can have artifacts when you're tuning them by hand. So a lot of the time what I'll do is I will just completely take the straighten off.
Every thought feels like a plague, all of my memories.
This feels a little rushed right here. So maybe let's drag that out just a hair.
Every thought feels like a plague, all of my memories shattered.
This feels like it's dragging just a hair.
Every thought feels like a plague, all of my memories shattered. I don't think anything matters.
This feels like it's dragging just a hair. And I mean, you can go in and you can tune these as crazy as you want. Typically, I don't even go in this in depth. Like for me, if timing's off, I'd rather re-record it. I can fix pitch a lot easier than timing, but I just wanted to show you, if you have something that otherwise is a perfect vocal, you can go in and you can really do these like microscopic edits that will take it one step further.
Every thought feels like a plague, all of my memories shattered. I don't think anything matters.
So let's leave it there. That feels good for time. So now let's hear that in the whole mix. I am going to turn on some of these send effects so we can hear with like a, rough vocal mix. This is not like a professional mix at all, but let's just hear.
Every step I try to take feels like it's pulling me backwards. Stuck in my head, nothing to say, feels like I'm losing grip. Every thought feels like a plague, all of my memories shattered. I don't think anything matters.
So now once I've done all of that, what I like to do is I'll figure out where I want extra vocals to come in. So you can hear right here, or you can see right here that we have a couple extra spots. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna figure out where we want these to come in, and then I'm gonna show you how I edit those and align those. And then lastly, I'll show you how I cut things like breaths and weird blank spaces. So let's see where we wanna add these.
Every step I try to take feels like it's pulling me backwards. Stuck in my head, nothing to say, feels like I'm losing grip.
So for this tutorial, let's just do feels like I'm losing grip. So that should be right here.
Feels like I'm losing.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it right before, and I'm gonna cut it right at the end. And let's go ahead and we'll turn some of these on. I probably don't need vocal 9. Let's just do 2 of these. So right here we have, this is what it sounds like. Let me pan these out so you can hear.
Feels like I'm losing grip.
Let me go ahead and copy this vocal chain over. So typically when I'm working with things like precise harmonies and things like duplicates that are the same exact melody, I will just copy over this vocal chain. And then my kind of go-to method is pan 1 all the way left, pan 1 all the way right. And then this is at plus 3 dB, so let's drag this down. We'll do like -4, so there's like a 7 decibel difference.
Feels like I'm losing grip.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut right here where that breath is, because we don't need to time align that, and we don't need to tune that. And we're gonna cut right here. And let's go ahead and let's go into vocal number 2.
Feels like I'm losing grip.
What you can do in Cubase is you can highlight multiple vocals at once. So I can see right here, this is my guide, that is the one that is perfect. And then as I time align them, everything starts to make a little bit more sense. Let's do that here too. And then all we should need to do is tune this. Typically on backgrounds, I'm gonna tune them quite a bit harder than I do with my lead.
Feels like I'm losing grip.
Let's go ahead and turn off that lead vocal so we can hear this in solo.
Feels like I'm losing grip.
That feels pretty good. Let's go ahead and split this at the end because it's just slightly off, and that should be fine.
Feels like I'm losing grip.
Cool. Now let's hear that in context.
Feels like I'm losing grip.
And then I'm going to do the same exact thing with the other one. So we're going to highlight both. And let's see this. Make sure that that's good to go. We'll get that note lined up. We'll get that note lined up. And we'll split this. And we'll get that note lined up. So I'm just matching this to basically like what would be a, we'll call it a template, but it's the lead vocal.
Feels like I'm losing grip.
I am going to go ahead and tighten this ooh, like ooh and losing.
Feels like I'm losing grip.
All right, so now let's hear these all back to back.
Feels like I'm losing grip.
Turn them up a little bit so you can hear it.
Feels like I'm losing grip.
And then now the last thing that I kind of want to show you for when you're aligning vocals is we've tuned those. I'm pretty happy with how they're tuned. Let's just hear those in solo without the lead.
Feels like I'm losing grip.
Grip on one of these sounds a little weird. Let's see if we can find out which one it is.
Feels like I'm losing grip. Feels like I'm losing grip.
All right, so it should be this one. There we go. So I'm just going to split this right here. And let's see how this works.
Feels like I'm losing grip.
That's much better.
Feels like I'm losing grip.
So in Cubase, it's really easy to time align. What you could do is you could always highlight both of these, and you could go in and you could manually drag everything back and forth like we did. However, since I've shown you how to do everything manually, I'm going to show you something that I like doing. A lot of people will use VocAlign or Revoice. Cubase has a built-in aligner that I really, really like. So all you need to do is click this button right here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add a reference. So I always use the lead vocal as a reference. It's going to bounce that out, so make sure that you're happy with the tuning. And then what you do is you're going to highlight the track that you want to align. So we're going to click on the second vocal. We're going to hit bounce. And then once you've done that, I prefer match words, and I prefer time stretching. So like you can have that. It's fine. I don't mind it. It doesn't matter. So now I have match words. I have prefer time shifting, and I'm going to align it 100%. We're going to hit align. You can see that it barely nudges things. We're going to go to this other vocal right here. We're going to click on it's audio too, but it would just be the right vocal basically. And we're gonna bounce that in, and then we're gonna align that audio. So let's see.
It feels like I'm losing grip. It feels like I'm losing grip.
That sounds pretty good to me. Let's hear it in the context of the whole mix.
It feels like it's pulling me backwards. Stuck in my head, nothing to say. Feels like I'm losing grip. Every thought feels like a plague.
That feels good to me. And then the last thing that I'll do for a vocal before I go in and I really start like mixing everything is I like to just chop everything. So I'll like chop all the weird silent parts.
It feels like it's pulling me backwards. Stuck in my head, nothing to say. Feels like I'm losing grip. Every thought feels like a...
So we'll go through, cut right here. Let's see.
I don't think anything matters.
Let's go in right here. This sounds a little weird.
I don't think anything matters. Every step, I don't think anything matters.
Still feels a little sharp to me.
I don't think anything matters.
Much better. And so now, since we've kind of cut all of those different silent areas out, all we're gonna do is put a little fade in and a little fade out. And then right here, we can crossfade those. In Cubase, you just have to highlight both things and hit X. So for the final comparison, here's what we have. Here it is with the vocals tuned, time aligned with a little rough mix.
Every step I try to take feels like it's pulling me backwards. Stuck in my head, nothing to say. Feels like I'm losing grip. Every thought feels like a plague. All of my memories shattered. I don't think anything matters.
Versus what it would sound like if we just had this raw vocal.
Every step I try to take feels like it's pulling me backwards. Stuck in my head, nothing to say. Feels like I'm losing grip. Every thought feels like a plague. All of my memories shattered. I don't think anything matters.
So as you can hear that just by tuning and time aligning that, not even talking about how we EQ, how we compress, those vocals sit so much better in that mix. And that's why it's really important to spend a little bit of time and to go through and really finesse everything so you can make sure that you've got all of your little kind of discrepancies perfect. Like for me, even, I might start this off like this.
Every step I try to take. Every step I try to take feels like it's...
Like I might even drag that down to that A, because for me that flows a little bit better. And I'll just kind of leave my vocals, and as I'm mixing and as I'm wrapping up, since I use it in Very Audio, I'll go through and I'll make tuning adjustments all the time just to tighten up vocals here and there. And like I said, make those backgrounds tighter. I'll kind of tune them a little bit more aggressively. You could even, on your background vocals, like instead of having the retune speed at 25, you could go to like 15. I find that works really, really well to just help them kind of poke into the mix.
Feels like I'm losing grip.
And it is hard tuned, but in the context of the whole mix, so those panned out to the side, typically you're not even really going to hear little things like that. So hopefully that's going to help you kind of figure out how you need to tune and edit your vocals before you start mixing them. And hopefully you can see what a big difference it makes when you actually take the time to do it. And there we have it. That is how I like to go in and tune my vocals by hand, feed them into auto-tune, correct some timing discrepancies, align my background vocals, and really just get a nice cohesive vocal sound before I even start mixing or producing to that vocal. So hopefully this video helped. Again, take the time to do this in the kind of intro process of your engineering and of your mixing, because I promise you, you're gonna get a nicer, tighter sounding vocal mix in the end. So hopefully this video is going to help you. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. If you want to support the channel, you can head over to makepopmusic.com and check out our podcast, sample packs, preset packs, courses, free content all over there. And then if you like this video, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But that's going to do it for this week. We'll be back next week with another video. But until then, much love everyone. Peace.